In the U.S. versus Paul Segalia case today, the judge decided to postpone the hearing until May 2015. Even though Segalia wasn't able to join us in court, his lawyers were able to phone him in. After the case, we did hear from his lawyer, and he had this to say. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention claim that birth defects in children are on the rise. But there are many causes for birth defects in babies, such as a mother's abuse of alcohol, her use of prescription drugs, and many others. But then again, there's not always a reason behind the cause. How long will this volatility last? That's the question investors are asking. In the U.S. versus Paul Segalia case today, the judge decided to postpone the hearing until May 2015. Even though Segalia wasn't able to join us in court, his lawyers were able to phone him in. After the case, we did hear from his lawyer, and he had this to say.
If two neighbors enter an agreement to have an easement, you're my neighbor, and I give you part of my land and you erect a fence and then claim it as your own, I have a right to sue you.
Reporting for CNBC, I'm Rachael Wilson. Now back to you. The seesaw of the markets is making people nervous. On one side, you have the investors who are comfortable with the way things are going.
It goes down 1 month, it goes up 1 month, and if you watch it, it'll make you crazy.
On the other, you have people who don't quite trust the system.
That's always to be a real problem that you have to watch.
How long will this volatility last? That's the question investors are asking.
I hope it stays or comes back up. Everything traces and cycles, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But for the guys in Iowa, I hope it goes back up.
So we don't do what we would call cheap charity or just relief. It's not bad things. If you're hungry, you need a place to eat that day, you need a place to sleep. We do some of those things, but our intention is to help move on past that to deal with the root causes that keep people poor.
To change a tough situation, the director of Mission Waco Mission World, Jimmy Dorrell, says,
but the empowerment model really demands that people with the problem must be a part of the solution of the problem.
Poverty is not always an issue of education or lack of work.
Part of poverty is systemic injustice.
Mission Waco has been working for the advancement of those in hard times for 22 years. Waco seems to have a high poverty rate due to what Mr. Dorrell calls the root causes of poverty.
But poverty has so many spinoffs. We've got large numbers of teen pregnancy problems here in Waco. We've got a lot of people who drop out of school, high dropout rate here. We have a significant amount of lower income jobs that people can never break the poverty cycle because you can't work enough hours to ever bring enough home to pay for all the needs. And so those are just a few, but there's, you've still got old racism out there. You've still got issues that historically Waco's struggled with that are just lack of opportunity for a lot of folks.
Working to solve these issues, Mission Waco is taking one small victory at a time.
A family of 12 is without a home this evening, and a firefighter had a close call after a fire breaks out in a Marlin home. Good evening and welcome to the Texas Report. I'm reporter Rachael Wilson. An oxygen tank exploded, blowing out one of the walls in a home after a fire with a firefighter inside. But thankfully, the firefighter is okay. The fire broke out around 1 o'clock this afternoon. It took firefighters more than 3 hours to put out the flames.
When you have a large structure like this, of course, there was a roof collapse. It tends to trap a lot of hidden fire, and it's very difficult to access. Of course, the high winds today did have a negative effect on firefighting efforts, but we were able to compensate.
4 people were inside the home when the fire started, but they were able to get out safely. The rest of the family was at church when they got a call about the blaze, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Apple fans, listen up. On Tuesday, September 9th, Apple will be unveiling its new, much hyped about iPhone 6. Many analysts expect the new iPhone to come with a larger screen and possibly for them to even unveil a smartwatch. The United States' first diagnosed Ebola patient is dead. Thomas Duncan died this morning at 7:51 after fighting the disease for more than a week. Duncan arrived at a Dallas hospital on September 26th, but was not diagnosed with the disease until the 28th of September. A Waco man is under arrest tonight after police say they found a pipe bomb in his apartment. After officers found the bomb, they evacuated the South Waco neighborhood, and bomb techs were able to detonate the bomb without causing any injuries. The suspected man is still in police custody. He's been called the nemesis of the big banks, but now Tony West is leaving the Justice Department. And on his way out, he spoke with our Kate Kelly about his pursuit of those banks. Kate joins us now. For months, Silicon Valley has been pulled in two different directions. The government wants tech companies to give up information. Privacy advocates and consumers want companies to keep it a secret. The new Apple software makes the question absolute. The protection is reportedly so deep that it makes it impossible for Apple to comply with the warrants or requests for information from the government.